Alright, as promised, I'm giving you guys an update on the Samsung A15 5G and my Helium mobile service. So, as I planned, I got this A15 5G from Walmart a few months ago, and I got it for free with the $29 plan, and that gave me 1 month service. And in order for this to unlock, so I could use it with my Helium mobile service, I did have to buy one more month. It was $20. And so this was a $50 phone basically, and now it is unlocked. This is an older phone. It came out in 2023. The A16 5G, I believe, is the current generation of this phone. And the only difference is it's basically the same phone, spec-wise, slightly bigger screen and a little bit thinner, but otherwise basically the same. And most of the prepaid carriers like Total Wireless, TracFone, a lot of those Verizon VNMOs that can have these phones unlocked in 2 months, they do offer also even the older A14 5G. So the last 3 generations of this series are still available as a prepaid phone, and they generally are basically entry-level budget phones, but you can get them for pretty cheap or even free with a few months of paid service, and you only need 2 months to unlock it, and then you can stick in a Helium mobile SIM, which is completely free service. So if you're new to the channel, you missed those videos I talked about this stuff, I will link that down in the video description in case you're a little bit lost as to what I'm talking about. This is free service, and you can bypass the waiting period by using my referral code in the description, and you can basically join. And it's I'll talk about the service a little bit later. It's been working out pretty well. There are some limitations that you need to be aware of because it is free, so it's obviously there's some caveats, but let's talk about the phone first. So often a lot of these entry-level budget phones are spec'd very conservatively, pretty low, and you're going to need to de-bloat the phone. Most of these prepaid phones will come with bloatware that will install when you first connect to Wi-Fi or the internet, and it installs a bunch of games and other crapware, spyware that you should probably you'll definitely want to try and eliminate that, and which is what I did on this phone here. I have not much installed anymore. I just have a few things, just the things that I want. And you can use a couple of apps, Shizuku and Kanta, to de-bloat your phone without having to root it, and that's what I did with this one. And once you do that, the phone's quite responsive and it works really well. I mean, just to show you, I'll just load up TikTok here, have this in the background, and so you can see here, very fast. I am on Wi-Fi right now. I'll show you what it looks like on the 5G Helium service here in a second. You can see it's very fast, and a lot of the complaints that you'll see out there on these budget phones is they are very slow and laggy. Sometimes the apps crash, and that's because it's a low powered CPU and not a lot of RAM. This has 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is kind of the bare minimum. But you can see here, once you sort of de-bloat it and get rid of a lot of the apps that you don't need, then it will run a lot faster. And if you want a video on how to do that, I will have the de-bloating video out pretty soon. I think maybe the next week or later this week, so depending when I schedule that. If you're curious about how to do that, I'll show you the process of how to go through one of these prepaid phones and get rid of that bloatware that comes on the phone from the factory without having to root the phone. And then you'll end up with a pretty usable experience, as I just showed you. It works pretty well. I can play videos and surf the web. I can pretty much do everything. Phone calls, music, everything works really well on this phone now that I've sort of slimmed it down and it's a lot more manageable. And I do want to show you that it is in fact unlocked. So I think I showed previously that it was network locked, but if you go here to your settings, go to connections and go to more connection settings, you can see here now it says network lock status is unlocked. And I'll show you that when I unlock the phone to this lock screen, it shows it's on the Helium service. And just go back into settings, go to mobile networks here, and you can see the network operator is Helium. regarding the service, if again, I'll link that video in the video description. You should watch that whole video. In a nutshell, you get for free. You don't even have to put a credit card number in or nothing. They'll send you a SIM once you qualify. You do have to sign up with some sort of an ID, like a driver's license, just because they don't want criminals to sign up for their service and use it for nefarious purposes, like sending spam calls out, etc. But yeah, basically what you get is 3 gigabytes of data per month and 100 minutes of phone calls and 100 texts per month. And it renews every month indefinitely. And the plan you want to sign up for is called the Zero plan. And just under my usage here, this is like a backup phone, so I don't use it a whole lot, but let's see, just go back here. Just use here on and off, and you can see my usage. It keeps track of your data and your voice minutes and your text messages. You get, looks like you get 300. Okay, so it looks like they increased that. You get 300 text messages and 100 voice minutes per minute, as well as 3 gigabytes of data. When I first started, I believe it was 100 SMS messages and 100 voice minutes. Now it's 300. Okay, that's cool, but still free. So go ahead and I'll deactivate my Wi-Fi so that we're just on the 5G, and say we have 5G here. And let's go back to TikTok. And then what you'll see here is it's a little bit slower. I'm not sure if you can even tell. So I'm on 5G. It is just a slight bit slower than on Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is like, I think it's 1 gigabit per second. And the free service here is something, I think it's like 150 or 250 megabits per second. So it's not as fast as your paid service. So for example, my T-Mobile service, 650 megabits per second, I think, is a little bit faster than this one, but not that much faster. So if you want, like, so you can see that if I'm going super fast here, I can't even, I don't know if some people, they're able to go through their TikTok like this and be able to see right away what comes up, and then they're off to the next one. But it just, if you're just swiping like this, you can see that sometimes you just get a blank screen where it's kind of loading. But are there people that go through TikTok like this and need that kind of speed? You let me know. Let me know in the comments if you're one of those folks. In that case, you probably need something really, really fast. But if you're just like me, like a normal person, watch your TikTok, and it just takes like a literally like maybe a quarter, half a second for it to load up. And that's basically the difference between this and like regular paid service, is that it's using deprioritized data, so it's a slight bit slower. But I don't know, you be the judge. Is this good enough for you or not for paying no money and you don't have to put a credit card in? You let me know. If it isn't, then yeah, let me know if that's not good enough for you. I do know that on this video here, I got a lot of trolls that were posting comments that they were able to get faster service than what I was paying like $100 a month for, and they said they got it for free. And then I asked them where they're getting their service from, and of course they would never respond, because that doesn't exist. There's people like that kind of try and trick people and say, yeah, you can get better service than what you're paying $100 for somewhere else, but I'm not going to tell you about that because I'm just that kind of guy. I hate people like that. They're just really annoying. There's tons of people like that on the internet. I'm just telling you that I think it's good enough for most people. As long as you're okay with 3 gigabytes of data per month. If you're a superpower user, of course, and you want, you're using like 10, 20, 50, 100 gigabytes per month, obviously you're going to have to pay for it. There's just kind of no way around it, really, unfortunately. So, but that's my update here on this. I've been using this for a solid 6 months now. No problems. It's been working well. Granted, I don't use it a ton because it's my sort of backup SIM. And again, on this phone, it's been working fantastic. As you see here, I'm going through TikTok. You can play YouTube videos. I mostly use this as an ebook reader. It's kind of like light tasks. If you're a heavy gamer, you run multiple apps at the same time, you're a power user, then of course, stay away from these budget phones. You should probably go with the more expensive, at a minimum, a mid-range phone with something like 6 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and those are going to run you $400, $500, $600 for something like that. This is going to run you under $100 if you buy it unlocked, and you can often get these on some sort of a prepaid carrier deal for free. You pay a couple months of service, like I did, like for like $50 or somewhere around there. $50, $60, $70, and then you basically have a phone that's pretty usable. But overall, though, the phone has held up well. I haven't dropped it. There's no scratches on here. The back is a fingerprint magnet. Cameras are so-so. It's a cheap phone. So again, if you're a power user, I would recommend looking at something in the $400 to $500 range. I will have another video later. I've just acquired the A36, which is a Samsung more current. It came out, I think, 2024, last year. It's pretty current, but it's a mid-range phone. It comes in around, I think the retail price of that one's $400 to $399, and I'll have a video on that one a little bit later, and I'll sort of give you some pros and cons between the two if you're curious about that. So if you're curious about that video and you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think of this stuff here, the phone, the service. If you're interested, got any questions, of course, let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.